we screwed up, and so we're gonna run with it because that's what we do.
Screwed up. Hi, everybody.
So for those of you wondering, what are you guys doing on? We didn't see a scheduled show. We didn't get notified about that. We're supposed to have a show next week. Well, that's what we thought, but our schedules didn't match.
The other one didn't.
Yeah, our schedules didn't match. Apparently, Jane was scheduled for tonight, and the show next week was actually supposed to be tonight, but I had it scheduled for next week because our calendars were off.
Yes. I put the out of office on the wrong weekend.
It happens, but that's okay.
I'm going to be at this. And no, I'm not 30. I wish I was.
We can pretend, right?
Right.
I'll go with that.
So I'm going to be out of state at a party. Maybe drinking. Depends.
I'm jealous.
Driving or not.
I'm jealous. Have a drink for me, will you?
I will.
It has been, I can't even say it's been a week. It's been like a whole month. You know what? It's been the whole year. This year has been so crazy.
Odd. Yes. Up and down and weird. And yes, I sound stuffy because, this week I had the cold from hell. And today is actually the first day I feel human. But I got new glasses.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah, I have another pair that's got frames. And it's actually, I should have put them on because they look kind of fancy and writerly. I can play the part, right?
There you go. What are you talking about, play the part? You write so much.
Yes.
You do more than play the part. And in fact, I know this week you sent some messages through that I haven't been able to respond to, but one of them I saw a picture. Was that a new cover?
Mm-hmm.
Are you getting new covers again?
Well, I published it.
Okay.
I did a makeover on an old book, and I'm like, why not? So yes. So Wolf Moon got a facelift.
Hello. Yeah, this is going to be our flexibility show because we understand that, especially with the craziness of this year, we have to endure flexibility. We have to embrace flexibility and roll with the punches because that's how life has been, and it's probably going to continue.
And, I interrupted Katie's relaxing night, and I feel so bad. I'm like, I'm going to be out a little later than normal, about quarter of, and she's like, what? And I'm like, aren't we doing a show tonight? Didn't you have guests? And she's like, I had you off. And I'm like, looking at my calendar. My calendar shows the right thing. And then I went into the Spilling Ink calendar, and I'm like, oh. Whoops.
So there I am, soaking in the tub, bubbles all around, music in the background, relaxing. And Jane comes in and just ruins it.
and yeah, I can. Hold on. I have to find it.
But you know what? It's actually not a bad thing because,
right.
I enjoy this show. The whole purpose of this show was to create that social atmosphere, was to have a good time with our people, our, creatives, writers, and to treat it like visiting with old friends. So it's not really that bad if, she interrupts my nice, relaxing bath because she wants to come hang out. I'm good with that.
No. Well, I gave her the option. She's like, do you want to do it? And I'm like, sure, it's up to you. You're in the bath. So I'm like, yeah. All right. So Rebekah said she wants to see the new thing.
Yes.
So
show it.
Let me share. So this is all published everywhere.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah. And I figured it needed a facelift. So
I love it.
Yes.
Oh my goodness, I love it. Yes. The colors. I like the shine effect on the words for the title. I like that she's got that little weapon right there.
Yeah, I know.
Sexy and dangerous. I love it.
Yep.
Who gets to hang out with you in the bath? I'm not in the bath anymore. We're done with that part.
We're done with the bath. Oh, thank you. Oh, no. So, it's been a week. It has been a weird week, weird year, as we were saying before the show.
Yeah.
The
universe has been conspiring against us.
It's already March, first of all.
I know.
The middle of it, right? Almost.
My oldest daughter graduates in a couple of months. Let's see if I have this thing over here still.
I do too. Oh, I have it somewhere. Oh, I have it behind this. So
my oldest daughter. Yes. I can't believe I have a daughter old enough to graduate. Can you believe that? Holy hell.
Yeah, it climbs up on you really quick.
Oh my God. Oh, what is Joshua saying? On the other hand, a major dream came true this month. Oh, Joshua, do tell.
Do tell.
We need some good news here.
We could send them the link and have them pop in.
We could. Oh, no. Sorry for your sunburn, Rebekah.
Oh.
See, I'm not the only one saying do tell.
Yep, I know.
Graduation. I know. It's freaking me out. Yes. I'm so excited for her because I see her, stepping into her own, but I'm not ready for her to be an adult quite yet.
Oh, wait until Zoe is in that thing. And you're like, no. Where did my life go?
Congratulations, Josh.
Yes, congratulations.
No, I can't even imagine Zoe being old enough. No.
Yeah.
Luckily, I have many more years.
Yeah. Well, it'll come faster than you really think. I mean, my grandson is 4 years old.
No.
Next month he is 4. Yes. Katie's already 1. Not that Katie. Not that Katie. but my granddaughter. Yeah. It's just like, my nephew, who was the godfather of Katie, he was in his mother's stomach at my wedding. His mother was in my wedding. So I'm like, oh my gosh. Yeah.
Time does fly. Holy crap.
I know.
Congratulations, Anita, on the new writing job.
Congratulations.
Time does fly. And I swear it's going faster and faster every year. Mm-hmm. And like, I'm trying to look back. It seems like yesterday when my daughter was just a baby and now she's graduating.
Right. Yeah.
And I look back and Zoe, she's 8 now. Hunter's 10. How the hell did they get that old?
Boom.
Yeah. You blink and it's.
I'm like, mine's 22 and 27. She just turned 27.
No way. In my mind, she's like 21. There's no way she's 27.
Well, she looks like she's 18 or 16, actually, if you look at those pictures.
How are we already in March? And
I know.
It's been a rough year, too. It has not been, I dare say that 2020 and 2021, as rough as those felt, seems like nothing compared to how 2022 has been this year.
Right. I mean, and all the shit going on in the world, sorry for my language, but it's just like,
yeah,
it's like, okay.
Oh, I like hearing some good news. Keep it up. Keep it up. That's great.
Exactly.
And anybody else who wants to pop into the comment section with some good news, let's hear it, because I think we need a little positivity.
Tell us what you think. I've got 2 of my books with the editor, so they went off this week. Even in my messed up stupor in my face, I was able to get those out. So that was good. So I met my deadline. Now I have 2 more that I have to get done.
There you go. And I did manage to land a fairly decent contract that will last me for a good portion of the year and keep me extremely, extremely busy. And probably
as busy as you were, or do you have a little time?
It's going to keep me as busy as I was because the deadline's kind of tightened up a little bit.
Okay.
Which is not a bad thing. It's forcing me to really buckle down a little bit more, and I need I need to get a better handle on that whole work-life balance, which we all know I suck at.
Well, yeah.
But I really have to learn how to better manage my time, because I should be able to get the required work done and have a life, and yet I still haven't quite figured out how to do both of those. So I think I'm really being like put through the ringer this year. Like, I have the ability to make the money I need to live. Now it's time to figure out how to do it while still going out and
while living
life.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's definitely a challenge, because like I said, the deadlines on this are very stringent. Okay. And I do have to get the work done. There's no getting around that. So work before social life, but I still have to find that time to have the social life.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep, I'm not the only one. Oh,
I know. Yeah, I'm trying, you know. But and in some cases, it has been forced because of events like, next weekend, like, the shower and things like that. I go and I socialize, and then I come back to the, hole in New Hampshire. And we're snowed in, but we can't really go snowmobiling because it's too icy. And neither one of us want to, gamble with that.
I'm not sure I understand this comment, Rebekah. Katie is currently the majority of my social life. But as little as I get to talk to you, that's not a happy thing. Because I see the messages piling up in my inbox, and Lord knows I want to respond to them, but I don't always have the mental capacity left over to make coherent sentences.
Oh, yeah.
Anita prefers work to life. You know what? Sometimes it is easier to just head down and keep going. But then that's when you, at least for me, that's when I finish a project and I look up and I'm like, oh shit, what month is it? And I've missed time because I've been working so hard. And then I regret the time that I missed because I didn't do anything but work at that point.
Yeah. I mean, I've set my schedule this year. It's pretty aggressive for me, even for me this year. So I have 5 novels and 3 short stories that I've got scheduled.
That's a lot for one year. And your novel length is about how many words are you shooting for?
Between 50 and 60.
Okay.
That's it's
a lot of words.
55 to 60.
That's a lot of words.
Yep. Some more, some not. And the short stories, I'm trying to make them around 20, but they end up being like 30. So they're not novellas, not short stories, but there's husband's walking by in the background. So, but yeah. It's so I have an aggressive year. So colds like this and being down for 3 days was not happy.
So how do we let's since we talked about the show being about our flexibility, how do you run with that when you realize you've got stuff you've got to do, because we all do, we have stuff we've got to do, and life keeps throwing curveballs at us, and whether it's a cold or whether it's an emergency or your car decides to break and you have a $1,400 repair bill, how do we pivot and get through it without it driving us completely insane?
Well, we have roofs over our heads, food on the table, and people around us that care. So we're better off than a lot of places. So, I guess I count my blessings. Although there are days like earlier this week that everything got to me, and I'm like, why am I doing this? Why am I writing? And in the back of my head, the little voice goes, "You love it. Shut up." You love to do stories. Just shut up. Stop complaining and just do it. But the reality of the world around us and the effects we're having on people, or people not buying things, is defeating. And I'm looking at it from a long term. When I retire, I can't have losses for long periods of time. So it's the thing like, okay, well, I have to really look at my schedule, how many books I'll put out, because I'm not going to spend $5,000 to $10,000, let's say, a year, to put out 5 or 6 books.
Yeah, it's a lot of money to produce a book, to produce a quality book.
Yep, because the editing. Well, I have covers, so that piece is not there, but.
Well, you've spent the money. The money is still accounted for in the total production cost of the book.
Right. True. But it's just like, when you're looking at that, it depends on who your editor is, and you want a decent editor. You don't want a, cheap one that lets everything through. And, I have to be edited. I really do. I'm not as clean a writer as I need
you're
to
too
be.
close to your work. When you know what you meant to say, your brain puts the filter on when you read it. And so you won't see the mistake that somebody else would be able to find.
So when people come to me and say, can I have, you have this up for, for free. Can I have the rest of your catalog? It's like, no. I had somebody do that with me with, audiobooks. I had extra things and I put it up, and somebody emailed me and asked me for the rest of my catalog. And I'm like, yeah, I want reviews, but no.
Yeah.
It's and I think that compounded everything, because I'm like, why do you think people think we should give away our stuff for free when we put hours and hours and hours into it?
Yeah. I'm reminded of a phrase my mother used to throw at me, and I always hated it then. And it was, it was, don't show me the baby, or something about don't complain about the pain, just show me the baby, or something like that. Where it's people don't want to know about the crap that went into creating the thing. They just want the thing. And that disconnect is kind of, it's very telling these days.
Right. And we don't price our books like trad publishers. We are a little bit, more forgiving on price than a lot of people. So,
very true. Very true.
Yeah, that's good, Josh. Yeah. So it's tough.
Yeah, and then you have to kind of, you have to decide for yourself whether it's worth handing out that copy for the review, or whether it would be worth it to tell the person no, and sometimes deal with the backlash. I know I had somebody who used to, I guess, be a part of my friend's circle. And this is a very, very long time ago. And they asked for a book to review. I let them have the book to review. And then they asked for the next one. I said, look, I really do need to get, paid copies on this. I can't really just give out all my books. It was brand new at the time.
Right.
And they berated me, calling me entitled, because they were doing me a favor and I was rejecting them. How dare I?
It would be one thing if you reached out to them.
Yeah, it was, and it made me feel bad. I was like, that's not what I'm trying to do. But that
was a narcissist.
That's how they twisted it. And I ended up, just completely cutting them out and not talking to them. But it was just that really just, what the hell? This is not what I'm trying to do. I have to make a living. But you're the bad guy for it. And you run into that a lot. And as the indie author, you are also the producer, you're the project manager. You have to make the business decision of what is worth either sharing or not, and what the backlash could be, and whether or not the backlash is worth it. And it's a lot of stress.
Exactly.
Rebekah wants peanuts now.
I'll send you peanuts. Oh, you had peanuts in your supper. Okay.
One of the biggest lessons I learned as a freelancer, the more someone respects your worth. Yes.
Yeah. And I'm I'm at the point, I'm not so much worried if somebody likes my book or not anymore. And I know this completely contradicts my earlier thing in the week, but I think that was my, sick coming on talking, that like, maybe actually, no, nah.
Let me see if I get this. You don't care whether they review and like your book. You care whether they buy your book.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm at this point, I'm writing for me and for the fans that really like me. And I have quite a few of them. And I have a few, like, when I put up the cover in my group, somebody said I love that book. Are you going to write another one on that? And I haven't committed to writing any more in that series, but it's just like, and I told her that I was very upfront because I don't want to say, oh yeah, I have this idea. I just said, I don't have an idea strong enough to pull on my muse, which, yes, I could write a book to appease them, but it wouldn't be great. It wouldn't have my heart in it. Yeah. And that makes a huge difference. That your heart has to be in it.
True.
And I did reference a piece of that in the current series I'm writing. I did sort of tie in there a little bit. So I have an opening if I feel like it after this, if it sparks a real story. And, it's tough because I do want to write the dragon story, but that one is a tough one and it's going to be a slow one. So it's not happening this year. So, that I'm just plugging a little bit at a time because it's fantasy, pure fantasy. So I have to make up the world. It's not modern world, urban fantasy. So I have a base to work with. So it's a little more difficult.
Okay, yeah. But you have like total creative freedom to build this world the way you want to.
Exactly, to a point, because it still is Earth, but it's pre-Mayan time. So it's, and it's South Central America. So, I have some constraints, but not too many.
Okay.
So, but yes, I have to make it all up and it's slow going.
But if that's the story that's speaking to you, enjoy it.
Yeah, I'll do it on the side because I have all these others that I want to do. I want to finish the Fractured Fairy Tales with book number 10. So that's Hook. And then I think I want to do a Halloween special.
Wait, did you say Hook was next?
Yeah. Hook is next. Yes. Yay! Belle is written, Jasmine's written, and then Hook is the last one. You saw that cover, right?
No, I didn't.
Oh. I need to share this.
I didn't know you were doing Hook. I'm excited. I want to read that.
Yes, I'm doing Hook. It's not in my complete series. It is in my incomplete series.
That's the other thing for me. I have not had time to read for pleasure in as long as I can remember now. It's been really bad.
Yes.
I don't know what reading for pleasure is like anymore.
Oh, poor person. No, I have I want to do this, and this is Hook. Can you see that?
Oh, I like it.
Yes.
I like it.
So yes, so that will be my my end of the fairy tales, at least for now. Unless unless I get a whim, but yes. And Josh is currently on book 5.
All right.
So thank you.
Right. Good job.
So yeah, I still read. I still make myself read because even it's mostly when I'm between books, I'll binge read. And I binge, I'm like, in that case, I read as fast as Rebekah when I'm binge reading my own stuff.
Oh, I can't do that.
Just fun stuff and ooh. just clear my head of everything I'm writing and then and then go. So
well, good. I mean, you've got a lot of good stuff going on.
Yeah, I know I do.
But 5 books? Oh man, that's a lot to put on the schedule for the year. It sounds like a lot. I'm sure, if you're writing every single day, yes, it's very, very doable.
I've already written 2 of them.
Okay.
So I've got, 1 short story and 1 novel already written. I've got, I think it's 30% of one and 25% of another. So that's the novel and short. Well, it's going to be a novelette. So I've got almost 4, and I should by the end of April have all 4, and then be jumping into the last book in the Shades of Night series, and then the short story that I want for Halloween.
Now, how long are you allowing for revisions?
Well, with this last one, my last beta reader took a lot longer than I expected, but I got things back last weekend. So I had to address things this week. And I'm hoping some of it makes sense because I was sick trying to do some of it. But she had made a very astute thing saying the character needs to have more emotion.
Okay.
I'm like, okay, deeper. She says, you got to get deeper. Some of this stuff is really, hard hitting. You got to get into her head a little bit more. And I'm like, okay. So I did. It added 5,000 more words to the book. So
I think your beta reader is calling you out.
Yeah. What did you say? Last book I read for pleasure was Jane's.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can say the name. You can say the name if you want.
5
Rebekah.
short stories, a poetry book, fairy tale book, and at least 1 horror novella on the schedule. Anita, you are just as much of a machine. Goodness.
Yeah.
Good job.
Yeah.
Oh, Joshua's got your dragon book on the TBR list. And the book planner. What is the book planner?
Jane is book 7 on my list to read. Oh, okay. I'm a machine, huh?
Yeah, well, you write quite a bit.
Yes.
And that's an understatement.
I try to do a little every day, and I go in fits and spurts. Some days it's literally 2 words or 3 words, and then they're stricken because they're awful. But and other days I can pound out 1,000 words in a half an hour. So it depends on mood and whether I've been able to dream up the next scene. Whether I was cooked long enough. So and I now have bullet points of the scenes that I want to write in the prequel, because I've already got them bulleted out, and I'm like, okay. And the second book, I wrote the beginning and I've written the ending. So now I have to sort of pinpoint the events within it and then start writing it.
Okay.
And I know where the third book is going now. So, it's and that's where, oh, it was Belle. Okay. Yes. Oh. Okay. Yes. Belle is going to be. Yes. Belle is actually out before Jasmine. Belle will be out in June. Yep.
The Fractured Fairy Tale series is good. I need to catch up. I forget. I think, was it Snow White was the last one I was able to read?
Snow, yes.
Yeah. Yep. I think that was the last one.
You didn't get to read Spindle.
Nope. I didn't get to read Spindle.
Nope. Because that was a Sleeping Beauty.
Sleeping Beauty.
Yep. I almost said Beauty and the Beast. I'm like, wait a minute, that's Belle. So that, and then Jasmine was the next one I wrote, which isn't coming out until October in a set. But Belle is coming out in June in a set. So, and then Hook.
I gotta read Hook.
So that will be 10. And I'm debating on doing all 10 in a packet.
Ooh.
I can't do it in a book because it even in a, well, maybe I could do in a bigger one. So that, those are, I would love to get that in hard copy and have all 10 in it. But I don't know if I could get the text small enough.
You would have to talk to me. I have some tricks.
Okay.
If you did a hardbound, you would almost have to do a special cover, like one of those royal, looking. Yes,
that's what I'm debating, and I'm like, okay, I might be calling Cora.
Yeah, because I could see that being so beautiful on the shelf too. Oh, I love. Okay, that's like my thing. I will buy hardbounds. Even if I haven't read the book, if I think it's beautiful enough to go on the shelf.
Yeah, I have to reach out to her. I mean, she's done a lot of the Bridget, my cover artist, who did most of them. There's 2 that she didn't do, and they're the first and the last now. But she's been doing Bridgerton books.
Really?
Worldwide. Yeah.
Wow.
Yep. So she's got, she's awesome. She also did one of Jonathan Mayberry's books. So I saw that.
He's got some awesome covers too. He has got some amazing covers. Actually, do you know if he's going to Comic-Con, San Diego Comic-Con this year?
I don't know. He lives right there. He's in.
That's like his backyard.
Yeah. He's a little north of San Diego, so.
So close yet so far away. It's like an 8-hour drive.
Yeah.
I want to go so badly.
Yeah. For you,
I want to go so badly.
Ooh. I don't know if he is.
One of these days.
He just got over COVID, so.
It's making the rounds through everyone. We got hit in January.
Yep, and I got hit last January, so.
Yeah. I think that's part of why this year has been so hard, is because we're all done mentally with COVID, and we want to get on with our lives, but everything is so much harder now, it feels like, to get out and do things, to make the things happen like they used to, because we've been cloistered for the last 2 years.
Yeah. Our the day job office is asking when people are going to come back in. They said, it's flexible. You can, do what you feel is fine. Well, for us, we're full-time remote because we're so far away from the office. But for my son, my daughter-in-law to be, my son-in-law, they all work at the same place. And, they're like, we kind of like working at home. We kind of like that. My son went in this week for the first time since he started the job, and he's like, it was kind of nice seeing people. This social etiquette has been lost in these 2 years. So possibly, yeah. What's Josh saying? I'm sorry. God. Yeah, New Hampshire is mostly normal too.
Josh says that they're still in the slog. He's up in Canada.
Yeah. So I mean, we've been without masks for most places for a long time. Doctor's offices, dentist's offices, certain places they still have, please wear a mask. The CVS here has masks are recommended. But they don't say anything, and it's weird. Masks aren't doing the damn thing either.
It's just, I think, like you said, we've lost our ability to be social, and relearning that is kind of putting the difficulty out there.
For outgoing people.
Well, for introverts, it's even worse.
Yes, I was going to say for introverts, it's worse. For outgoing people, I like my social interactions, but I'm finding more and more, I just like, leave me alone.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I'm sitting here going, do I have to go out there? Do I have to?
Well, I signed us up to go to a dinner on the 25th, not the 26th. That's why I was all confused about the March. It's a Friday. So we have to go, and there's a meeting at the place, but I'm like, let's go, let's meet people, because we're in the house working. We've met some of our neighbors, but let's go out and meet people who like to do the things we like to do.
Okay.
Let's go
In
shoot
theory, it
guns with
sounds
people.
great. In theory.
Yes. So we're going out. We haven't gone to the snowmobile thing, because there's been a bunch of snowmobile things like breakfasts and things like that. But Sunday mornings we're just we roll out of bed at 9, turn on our service, because we watch a service out of Tennessee that we like because it's got good music.
Okay.
and just chill. But yeah, but it's and Saturdays, some nights I'm here. And there isn't much during the day.
Yeah.
And then we're counting down the days now to opening our place in Maine.
That's right.
That's when we have social interaction.
Mm-hmm.
That's really, because everybody's around us and we're talking with everybody all the time, and chatting and chit-chatting.
Yeah, everybody around the fire.
Yep.
Yeah.
And just from our porch and talking to the people on their porch, and yeah, it's social interactions. That's our summers are full of it, but the winters, even when we were in Tolland, it's very localized. You don't see people in the snow very much, because a lot of people don't go out. And
it's like us in the summer. It's too hot to be out during the day. You don't really see anybody outside.
Yeah, so it's the same thing, Yeah. Well, that's good. It's good to do that.
Yeah, I still got to figure out that whole social interaction, work-life balance thing, because for me, it's Monday through Friday is mom life. I throw my work in around the kids' schedule.
Yeah.
And, the kids have their activities. So Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, I'm usually running from school pickup until dinner time to get kids to activities. So my day is very, very regimented. And then come the weekend, when my kids go to their dad's, I have free time that I could be using for more than just work. But I find I end up lumping all the work I didn't get done during the week onto the weekend. And I end up all night write-a-thons to catch up with the deadlines for the client that I've got, and everything disappears. Next thing you know, I'm waking up Monday morning going, oh, we're doing this again. Okay.
Yeah.
And the cycle just keeps going without really any change or any, anything to look forward to, any, positivity. And then when I do try and change my schedule a little tiny bit, then Murphy's Law happens.
Jake goes, I'll be on the show. I'm in the bath. Oops. Yeah.
And I'm just like, well, I got to try and roll with it as best I can. But
I was like, okay, I screwed up. I'm not going to be able to be there next week.
No, but this is my social time. So I'm like, yes, I will say yes to social time.
I'm like, you're like, do you want to just do it? I'm like, yeah. I was ready for it. You weren't, but see, my hair looks good. It's clean. My face looks, I'm still a little pale.
You look fine.
My lips are red because they're chapped.
Wouldn't have noticed, though. Wouldn't have noticed.
So yes. But hey.
Yeah, I'm still trying to figure the whole work-life balance out and trying to say yes to the social stuff when I can, because I do need to be just a little tiny bit more social. Speaking of, in July, I got roped in to be one of the coordinators for the writers track at Combat Con.
Oh, yep. How's that going?
It's interesting.
Okay.
Okay.
I love that last week.
I love Combat Con. I do. It is a unique convention that is centered around the HEMA tournaments. So HEMA is the historical European martial arts, sword fighting. So sword and buckler, long sword, rapier. They do actual tournaments there. and the convention's built around it. And it's all about combat, different styles of combat. They have different instructors come in and teach classes. They have all kinds of fun classes that you can take during this convention. I took the most hilarious and fun self-defense class I've ever taken in my life at Combat Con.
Yeah.
I've taken knife throwing at Combat Con. They have yoga with swords at Combat Con as a morning class today. I mean, there's a lot of fun stuff. And then for the writers, we teach writing as it relates to combat. So we do the instructional initial bit, plot structure, characters, all that. But then we learn about writing a fight scene. We learn about wounds and weapons. What happens when you get cut? How does your character deal with that? We learn about the first aid so that way you can write from these perspectives. So usually I'm just, I raise my hand, I'll teach whatever you want me to teach, and we go. But the lady who coordinates for Combat Con for the writers has a scheduling conflict, can't go this year, and she threw my name in the hat. And I'm the, hey, tell me what to do and I'll do it.
Yes.
It's really weird for me to get the, okay, now you're in charge.
Yes, now organize it and tell everybody else what to do and they'll do it.
Go ahead. You find the authors, you bring them in, you schedule their classes. Oh, and you teach too.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So it's a little overwhelming, but if I want to go to Combat Con, it has to happen.
Yep.
Because somebody's got to be able to coordinate this.
Yes.
So
exactly.
I'm like, all right, if that's what it's got to take, I will do it. And I've been to 2 of the planning meetings so far, and they've changed completely how we're structuring it.
Okay.
So I'm learning what classes they want us to teach and how they want us to teach it, and how they really want it to be like a master class. And they want it to fold over into some of the other disciplines because they want filmmakers, because again, stunt fighting and stuff happens in movies. So they want to include that as part of it. So they've got writing, they've got stunt actors, filmmakers, and there's one other track I can't remember. And we're all going to be kind of interchanging with each other with the goal of at the end of the whole convention having something to show for it, like a mini movie that employs the script writing, the scene setting, the stunt acting, the filming. So it's going to be very regimented, but very cool if they can pull it off.
Yeah.
So
I like what Niederriter just said.
Oh, wait, what'd she say? Hold on, I missed this. Stab wound.
Yep.
I would apparently have a sparring session with Andy Peliquin to schedule.
Okay.
He said he's no comfort sparring with the weapons. I'm pretty sure you could take him. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
I want to see that film because I won't be able to be there.
See, I'm one of our authors that comes every year, and she actually was the one who pulled me in the first place.
Yeah.
She does competition longsword.
Okay.
So anytime she's around, I have her give me some tips.
It's in Vegas,
stuff.
Right?
Yes, this is in Vegas.
In July when?
July 21st through the 25th, I believe. Why, you thinking of coming down here?
Okay, my handy dandy.
Let me know, because I still have to submit names for authors who are willing to teach.
Teach what? When did you say that the end of July?
Yeah, it's a weekend. I think it's the 21st through the 25th, just without looking at my calendar. One of my favorite workshops we do at Combat Con is workshopping a fight scene where we will have authors give us their fight scenes.
So Thursday through a Monday.
Yep.
Maybe my husband would like to go to Vegas. He's not listening to me.
Could be fun. I always have fun going. I enjoy it.
He might. I mean, if it has. What is Rebekah saying? Oh, sorry.
I think she's still stuck on the fight wounds.
Oh, she said Jane, me too. So I don't know if she's thinking of doing Vegas.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
You have to clarify, Rebekah. But yeah, so one of those workshops we like doing is the workshopping a fight, where we have weapons on hand, because a lot of the teachers that come to this bring their own training weapons, and we can usually borrow from them. and we have the authors give us their scenes, and we kind of almost like stop motion animation. Grab the weapon that your character is going to have. Make the strike. Now freeze. What does this look like? What does this feel like? Now, what is your opponent going to do? What ways can you respond to this? And you slowly work through the fight step by step. And it really gives you a chance to feel what it's like to be in that fight. And so it's kind of taking that and expanding on it is what we're doing with the whole weekend's worth of classes, because we'll not only be doing sit down classes where there will be instructional time, there will also be writing time allocated because we need a scene to film and the authors are going to be responsible for writing that scene.
Okay.
But we also need practical application, time with weapons in hand to play and see what it really feels like.
Okay.
And that sound fun?
Yes, it does. It does.
So that is the idea.
Yeah.
That is the idea behind how we're approaching this year's writing track for Combat Con. And so it's going to be fun, but it's kind of hectic right now trying to figure out how we're going to pull it all together, because it's only a few months away and we need to get the authors that we're going to get them secured, signed up. We need to get the scene ideas in hand that we're going to give to our writers so that we can direct them instead of just saying, write whatever, because then you'll get a million scene ideas.
Yeah, exactly.
So we've got a lot of things that we've got to structure, but if we can pull it off, it could be really, really fun.
It's like, Vegas, baby. He's going to be like, what the hell are you yelling?
Aim for the legs.
Yep.
Well, as a short person, it's kind of my best option.
I'm shorter than you, Katie.
Are you really?
Yes.
I'm 5'1"-ish.
I'm 4'10"-ish.
Yes. Finally taller than someone.
Yep. PB power.
Well, good. Finally.
I mean, Rebekah's met both of us. She knows I'm shorter than you.
I think you've said it before, and it just never clicked with me because we never have gotten a chance to meet in person.
Right. And we have to.
Yeah, one of these days we do. Hey, Combat Con.
I know. I got to get him.
I can't wait. Oh, God, I love Combat Con. It's so much fun. It's a small convention, which gives it that more intimate feel. You really get to know the other people at the convention.
Yeah.
And when you're one of the teachers, you also get to know the teachers a little better. And there's some really fun trainers. All these guys that teach fighting for a living. They're hilarious.
Yep.
They're such cool guys.
Yeah. Well, he's a red belt. Red belt, three stripes. And then he stopped after that because he had school and we gave birth to Vicky. But yes. So I have martial artists, him, my son's a black belt in Jiu-Jitsu, which is so yeah. But not there's somebody shorter?
Wow.
Not me. Did you pick me up and swing me around? I don't remember. No. You want to go to Vegas, Darren? He's ignoring me.
Such a bad influence.
He's ignoring me.
Hey, Vegas in the summer, it's, not that bad as long as you're indoors.
You want to go to Combat Con in Vegas? Fight with swords? He's getting a drink.
I'm doing that yoga with swords this year. I'm doing it. I missed the class last year because I was teaching morning classes, but it looks like my classes won't start till 9. I should have that 8 a.m. block ready to go do yoga.
Yeah, I didn't think you did. Okay. Yeah, okay. No.
Yeah, it's gonna be a very interesting weekend, and I'm getting some serious learn to pivot lessons in being part of the coordinating of this, because again, I'm not usually a coordinator for things like this. I'm the one who you tell me what to do and I'll make sure it gets done.
Yeah.
I'm like the hand behind the throne kind of, don't want the immediate power to be out in front, but I do want to, be back there helping things move. But now I'm up front having to do stuff. Yeah, yoga with swords sounds so much fun, and I missed last year's class. I want to do it this year. I'll even bring my own sword. That's the other thing too. A lot of the sword vendors are there, and you get to see a lot of shiny, pretty, pointy things.
Things
some very, very sharp, and some
training,
and some
that could chop.
They're so pretty. They're so pretty.
I'm not good with knives. Yeah. Never dry a sharp knife with a paper towel.
No.
Yeah, I've cut my hand.
Yeah. I could see that happening.
Yeah. I was doing it too quickly and trying to get it done quick. Yep.
Just the blade should be away from you when you watch. Yeah.
Yep. Well, I had the knife away from me. I had the paper towel around it like that.
Yeah. The paper towel is not going to protect you.
No, it doesn't. Oh, hey.
What is she saying? Now I'm stuck in the idea of holy cow yoga.
Oh, Maddie said holy cow yoga.
Oh, okay.
Yoga with swords sounds epic. Yes, it does.
Yeah. And that's just, some of the classes from last year. There's going to be a lot more, plus with the specific tracks they're talking about doing this year, with that end goal in mind, being able to walk away with I did this, cool project.
Mm-hmm.
It's really going to be a lot
interesting.
And I'll definitely, as one of the teachers, I'll get to be able to learn a lot of the stuff, because even if I'm not teaching the specific class, I can sit in on those classes that are in joint participation with our stuff. So like the guys who do tomahawk and knife, I'll get to sit in with those. The guys who are doing longsword, the guys who are doing self-defense, hand-to-hand, stunt acting. I mean, it's all these classes that I never really get to be able to sit in on because I'm teaching a different class at the same time. Yeah. I will have the opportunity now to be part of, because of the whole joint nature of it. So it's like, oh, this is going to be so much fun. So excited.
Yeah. It sounds kind of fun. I just have to get on board. I don't know.
Do it quick, because I got to submit lists and stuff right now. As we get closer, we have to have everything finalized.
Yeah, I'll know within a couple hours.
It's like a bad influence.
Yeah, well, we have to look at our schedules and stuff. Initially, that was the week we were probably going to be with the family on the lake, but my parents couldn't find a place.
Oh,
yeah, not big enough for the whole family with all the bedrooms. Actually, they found bedrooms, but the houses with 6 bedrooms only had 1 bathroom. That's not going to work with 6 families.
No. Sorry, no.
Yeah. So my mom's like,
Yeah, you want to start a fight? That's how you start a fight.
Yes, exactly. So yeah.
Rebekah is still pushing for me and Andy to spar. He's a giant. One of the big keys with sword fighting is controlling distance. Okay, his arm reach is already going to put me at a disadvantage.
Okay, well, I have little T-Rex arms, as my husband says.
Exactly. So if I can't get in under there and control the distance, I'm at a disadvantage. He's already going to have me at that, with being a giant that he is.
Okay, well, you can hit his ankles, right?
I mean, if I was an experienced fighter, I could probably get around it, but I'm not an experienced fighter. Yes, I know some technique. Yes, I am comfortable with the sword because I do practice with it, but I'm not practiced enough with sparring that I could probably deal with that deficit of not being able to control distance. She has faith in me.
All right.
I believe in you. I think as just a fun, exercise, sure, it would be a lot of fun to just sit there and play around.
Yeah, well, I want to do tomahawk throwing. You've done that in real life. That just looks like fun, especially when it sticks, huh?
She says, "Give him a heavy sword." You want your sword to actually be functional. You don't. The big giant heavy swords actually did have a purpose. The really super super long swords, they were meant as like ground clearance, because if you swing the heavy sword around, everyone wants to step out of the way. But they weren't meant for the actual hand-to-hand fighting, one-on-one. That's when you get something like either your long sword, your bastard sword, your arming sword. But those giant ones, and I can't remember the name of them right now, there's a specific name for them. It's super long, major, big swords. Those were meant to swing around to clear the field around you.
Because nobody wants to be in the
exactly. But they aren't practical for actually, taking and swinging at an opponent.
Okay. Interesting. See, you learn something every day.
If you go to Comic Con, you'll learn a lot more about that.
Yeah.
That's actually where
I'm more Annie Oakley than sword fighting.
But your characters in your books fight.
Yes, I know.
And understanding the weapons that they use. And that's honestly what drew me in too, is because I didn't know as much. I knew some of the tropes about swords. Oh, women can't carry a sword. It's too big and heavy. You know what? I'm sorry. A long sword weighs 3 pounds. 3 pounds. Okay. If you can pick up a 5-pound dumbbell, there is no sword you cannot pick up.
Cool. Okay.
It's an inaccuracy, but it's a Hollywood trope that they play off on all the time.
Yeah.
No, a long sword is 3 pounds. And if you're using anything shorter than that, it's going to weigh less too, because they needed the sword to be functional.
Yes.
An ornate sword that's meant to hang on the wall, that's going to weigh a ridiculous amount. It's also not going to be balanced properly.
Right.
It's meant for decoration. It's meant for ceremony. A sword meant for fighting is going to be a quick, low weight, easy to swing sword.
Yep.
Because you want to actually hurt your opponent. Yes. That's the whole purpose. But again, I didn't know that until I started going and learning these things, because we were exposed to what we see on TV,
Hollywood,
what we see in movies. And while they play for the flashiness of it, it's not always accurate. And so it becomes very interesting learning the truth and learning to see how they move and what techniques they use. And if you're like me and you go down the rabbit hole of research, the more you can learn, the more you want to learn. So I just eat it all up. I don't know. What is she saying now? Rebecca says, I swing around babies that weigh more than that, which is why I'm no longer allowed in the nursery. And well balanced. Absolutely. Absolutely. Because your wrist has to be able to hold and move with that sword in order to swing it accurately. Yes. If it's not balanced, and if you're swinging it improperly, because you're not used to the balance, like take, for example, a longsword versus a Tai Chi John. They're balanced completely differently, but they're the same length of sword, and they take a different technique to work with them. So sorry, I could go down the rabbit hole, but I learned so much from it.
I like you when you go down the rabbit hole like this. I learned so much, even on this, in this little venue that we have. I've never held a sword. So I mean, I've held a butcher knife, but I've never held a sword. So
and depending on how the sword is balanced, depending on how long the sword is, it'll feel different in your hand. So again, when I go to Combat Con, I get exposed to all this. I can pick up weapons. I can go in the practice ring and play around with them. I can take a class. You learn a lot, and it's very beneficial as a writer, because write what you know. If now you can write better.
Yes, exactly, which is one of the reasons why I learned to shoot, because I was writing an FBI agent initially, and I'm like, I don't even know how to shoot a gun. And somebody at work took me and gave me a few other few choices of guns, and I loved it. I was really good with the 22. Anything bigger, my hand jerks. and the bullet goes this way. So if I need to aim at somebody, I need to aim at their left foot to hit them in the heart. But at least I know which way my hand jerks.
Yes.
So
yeah, knowing is half the battle.
That's all wrist strength too. So, you've got to get used to that. It's the same with sword, fighting. It's all wrist strength and how you're holding it. So,
yeah. And I used to actually hate two-handed swords until I got mine, because I have a two-handed sword. Yeah. And it's dull edged, so it's good for practice.
Yeah.
And I find now I actually really love the movement with the two-handed sword, because the way I move it feels much more comfortable. And I use the pommel quite a bit as part of moving it around and swinging it, because it gives me that extra oomph in order to be able to maneuver the blade exactly where I want it to go. So I like it now a lot better, even though I used to love, short swords, single-handers, machete style swords, because I felt like they were easier to move. But after experience now, I really, really love my long sword.
Yeah.
And Anita says single edge, double edge. There's a lot of variables. Yeah. And there's a lot of styles that you employ based on that kind of weapon.
Yeah. I have to get more shooting time in. So now that we've joined a range, yes, we're going to do that. So, and of course, I don't have a 9mm. I have a 38. With revolver.
That has some kick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And and I like the revolver. Because I hate trying to put bullets in the cassette or the magazine. That actually hurts your thumb.
Hey, not imagine.
Yeah.
Not imagine.
So I'm like, I just want, something that I can put the bullets in like this.
And then you get used to your specific weapon and how it works.
Yeah. But I was very accurate with a 22. It doesn't have a lot of kick. So
yeah, that 38 revolver is gonna.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. It's not the 45 Magnum, but hey, little girl, big gun. Don't mess with me.
Hey, same here. Little girl, big sword.
Yeah. Yep. Exactly. Are we compensating?
Probably. Yeah, it's my own version of little man syndrome.
Yeah. We've looked at stuff like that, but yeah. Oh, okay. Well, you're bigger than I am, so yes, it's all wrist strength. So.
Well, think about it. Let me know, because that would be a fun way for us to finally see each other in person.
In combat. Get to play through some of the scenes we wrote. That would be awesome.
Could be fun. Could be.
Yeah.
I'm so looking forward to being able to take a few more classes this year that I wasn't able to take in previous years.
Yeah, I'll talk to him and let you know.
Okay. All right. Well, I think we've run our time.
Yes.
So, and you won't be here next week. You'll have to send me if you have any questions next week, because our astrologer is booked for next week. So he's going to come on and talk to us about electing good times to do things, and give us a little look back at how our predictions went for last month.
All right.
So if you have any questions, send them to me.
And if we get back to the house early, I said I'll try to jump in. So include me on the invite, just
of course,
just in case.
Always. And for the rest of you, we will see you back hopefully next week when we do our show. Remember, we're going to be doing the astrology, so we're reading the stars next week. Yes. So if you have any fun astrology related questions, get those ready for our next show and have them ready to put in the chat for our astrologer that's visiting. And we'll see you guys later.
Thank you.
Thanks for hanging with us.